Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! For every lifetime, there is a friend that you will encounter that will help you put the pieces of your broken heart together and help you make sense of everything when you just seemingly can't. For me, I found those answers in a girl named Tanisha who became my best friend. And if there was one friend that I could keep throughout my entire lifetime, it would have been her. I miss her dearly wherever she is tonight. I want her to know that she is in my heart and she has forever left an imprint on my heart for everything that she helped me with and helped me make sense of. In the wrestling industry, it is very cruel, some of the people that you will meet and how they will make you feel. More times often than enough, they will bring you down to make themselves feel higher up on the proverbial ladder. I spent many of my years in professional wrestling with character development, helping characters make sense of their direction, and helping them become the greatest stars in the wrestling industry. I'm responsible for a lot of things that you saw, both independently and professionally with professional wrestling. When companies like WWE and WCW would let professional wrestlers go, they would call me. And I would spend hours every single night up until midnight into the lateral part of the night focusing on character development just to find their way back into the industry. And I succeeded in doing that a lot of the time, but more times often than enough I was alone. And the history of the professional wrestling industry revolves around people who are always quit on, who are always left behind. And it's very hard to find someone who is very supportive of a person in the professional wrestling industry and that will stay with them forever. I've seen it more times than enough, and I've seen many people leave the industry night after night with broken hearts. I left the professional wrestling industry in 2018 with a broken heart before I found all of you. And before I found Tanisha, who helped me put the pieces of my broken heart back together. And that's something that I've always wanted her to know, that she was incredibly supportive. She never quit on me and never stopped loving me. And because of that, I consider her my best friend to this day. While I may not know where she is tonight, I want her to know that she was an incredible human being who has forever left an imprint on my heart that I will never forget her because of. And I want her to know that I miss and I love her dearly. Many of her qualities are seen in your idol, Dove Cameron, who inspired this show, who inspired many of us to become fans of a franchise we are all familiar with and deeply love, Descendants. Her portrayal of the character Mal has captivated millions of people, whether it was because she made you believe that happily ever after does exist and fairy tales last eternally. And that's something I thank Dove Cameron for every single night of my life before I fall asleep. Because if there's one dream that I've always wanted to everybody's minds, whoever finds my thumbnail, whoever finds this YouTube channel on your walk through the woods every single night, thank you so much for finding my thumbnail and clicking on it, by the way, is that happily ever after does exist and forever is eternal. And every single dream that you've ever wanted to achieve in this life, no matter what that dream is possible. And I say this because those analogies that I put across and desperately tried to convey on this podcast every single night of my life for the better part of the last 25 years are made possible because of each and every one of you, and has given me over 3,000 subscribers since the relaunch of this podcast in August of 2024. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of this show, and we're all here because of our love for Descendants, Zombies, Dove Cameron, Meg Donnelly, Sophia Carson, so be it. I share in that same passion as each and every one of you. That's why this room is full of your favorite Disney characters, reciprocal lights in the back, professional podcast microphones, game chairs, $400 Logitech Brio cameras. I've got it all. But you know, what it comes down to is the love and support that you guys have shown Descendants and Zombies as franchises as a whole. The reason why they're making Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, and Descendants 5, Wicked Wonderland is because of you and your seemingly never-ending love and support for these two franchises. That's why we're seeing the Worlds Collide Tour kicking off in July with 43 arenas scheduled all across the United States, and I'm hoping globally in a couple of years, because we are far from this story ever being over. I remember being the biggest Liv and Maddie supporter in the world. I think I was the only guy who ever admitted publicly on his podcast that he watched Liv and Maddie. I mean, people are paid up in the millions to interview people like Dove Cameron, and they say on their podcast they love Liv and Maddie, but I don't think anybody has ever had such a passion for what he loves so much like I do. So if I tell you on this podcast that I love Liv and Maddie, I'm not lying about it. There is not one word of a lie coming out of my mouth. And that's why I hope that you hit that subscribe button. That's why I hope you hit the like button. And that's why I hope you ring my bell to stay up to date with notifications on this YouTube channel, because you're really going to fall in love with what happens here. I am the greatest podcaster, for those of you who are unfamiliar with my voice, in the last 30 years. And it's not because I just decided one night that I was going to create a podcast out of my mother's basement back in August of 1999. It's because of each and every one of you who are die-hard Descendants Zombies supporters and never ever quit on what you believe in. I know a lot of you are really excited about Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires. You can't wait with anticipation for Descendants 5, Wicked Wonderland, and I concur with your beliefs on that, because I can't either. You know, while everybody found time in criticizing The Rise of Red, I couldn't criticize anything about it because I fell in love with the franchise just as much as each and every one of you did. So while people spent up to 45 minutes on their respective podcasts criticizing it, I found everything good there was to have said about The Rise of Red, and I was the only one who seemingly ever said anything good about it, because everybody spent, as I said, up to an hour on the respective shows criticizing it and bringing it down, just as we saw for the Place to Be music video and Don't Mess With Us for the Zombies franchise, and of course the soundtrack for Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, which is a story and a synopsis that's unfolding that I really appreciate because of the love interest, of course, that we see between Zed and Addison, the two characters respectively in this that are going to be saying I love you for the first time ever. I'm going to let you guys in a little secret. I have never heard the words I love you in the better part of the last 25 years, and it hurts so much. So that's why I appreciate, maybe I sucked, I don't know, that's probably why nobody ever told me that they love me. But I appreciate how they are bringing the words I love you into a Disney script for a Disney Channel movie. I'm going to be seen on Disney Plus globally for the first time ever, because it boosts the morality of this one. And the significance of it is so powerful. You know, oftentimes when emotions are too high to convey in a script, the secret behind that is telling your emotions through the power of music. You know, you can really find out about a person a lot through the power of music. By the type of music they listen to, it really is an exemplification of their personality. The girl I just mentioned, she loves to create music. She loves to paint. Canvases are absolutely beautiful. I love them dearly. But you can tell a lot about a person through their desire to want to create, and that's what I saw in her, and that's what I saw in Dove Cameron, was this desire undeniably to want to create. Many of you were emailing me about Dove Cameron years ago, and when I was reading your emails about Dove Cameron, I took it under consideration to check her out, because I had a lot going on in my life, both personally and professionally. I left the wrestling industry in 2018. People were emailing me about Dove Cameron, and I took you up on your consideration. I took it under consideration and advisement. And then I started recording podcasts last year saying I wanted to kick the shit out of Ryan McCartan. I say that I wanted to kick the shit out of Ryan McCartan because of how he treated Dove Cameron. It was horrible how he treated Dove Cameron. The way that he was so abusive towards her, how she couldn't be herself out in public, it was terrible. And it really broke my heart. So I wanted to create podcasts that drew inspiration from all of that and turned it around in a more positive direction. And I ultimately became one of the most popular podcasts in the entire world, perhaps for wanting to kick the shit out of Ryan McCartan, I don't know. But each and every one of you stood behind me and never ever quit on this podcast. From what I understand, he's got his own podcast called The Stage Door on YouTube. I don't know how many million subscribers he's got, but I think that show is actually officially out of commission now because they haven't recorded a video blog in over a year. I want to let you guys know something. While other Descendants and Zombies YouTube channels and Disney-oriented podcasts will promise you videos every single day, you will get it here. I don't know what time of day they'll be uploaded, but they will be uploaded here consistently. Because one thing that I've always prided myself in, more so than wanting to kick the shit out of Ryan McCartan, is uploading videos on this YouTube channel that you will love and you will appreciate and you will run away with a message of positivity from. You know, something I love to do is post messages of positivity on my Facebook page. It could be Winnie the Pooh themed. It could be Lilo and Stitch themed. It could be anything. But I always want to go out of my way to post something positive on my Facebook page because I think a message of positivity really does go a long way. No matter if it's Winnie the Pooh themed, Lilo and Stitch themed, Mickey Mouse themed, Donald Duck themed, which often more times than enough are very ignorant messages about Donald Duck. But I love to convey powerful messages of positivity because there is never enough kindness seen in this life. I mean, how many people, how many idiots do you encounter every single day of your life that you say hi to, walk past on the street or in a convention center, and they never ever say hi to you? It breaks my heart every single time. And it really bothers me because I have never wanted anybody to ever feel down about themselves. So I thought to myself after I moved into this house, which took me a while to find, I love the landscape, I love the scenery, it is very beautiful outside tonight, the sunset is absolutely gorgeous. I thought to myself when I moved into this house, what could I create that would inspire millions of people to never quit on what they believe in? So then I started throwing up Dove Cameron videos, and seemingly overnight got 1,000 views for every video that I posted. And Dove Cameron consequently made me the most famous podcaster in the world, or one of them at least. And I have each and every one of you to thank me for that. I want Dove Cameron to know that she is not alone in her battles with anxiety and panic attacks. It was so heart-wrenching seeing her having these panic attacks while on set of Liv and Maddie and contemplating quitting her job. And so many people, after Alchemical dropped in 2022 at the end of that year, said that Dove Cameron quit on her career, and they just jumped to that conclusion. And now she's back with this new compilation called Too Much that is absolutely incredible. I watched that performance on late night talk shows time and time again on YouTube. I've somewhat become addicted to YouTube and TikTok in recent weeks, but I got my reasons for doing it and have more of a reason than ever before to be thankful for two idiots in Japan who made TikTok one night while eating chicken balls, I presume. I don't know. But I have my reasons to be thankful for YouTube and TikTok now for how much of an inspiration it's been to so many young people, and how much of an inspiration Dove Cameron has been to so many young people who sing her songs, who are inspired by her character Mal, who are inspired by all the movies she's had the privilege of being a part of. And she believes in everything that she says, and she also believes, while believing in everything that she says, she believes in having this connection with her fans. And I can somewhat concur to that because I've always wanted to have this connection with the people that I podcast for behind this podcast microphone every single night. I've always believed that you have to have a connection not only with your show and the details of it, but you also have to have a connection with your audience. And let me rephrase that for you guys. You have to have what's called a profound connection with your audience. And what that means is understanding what your audience appreciates in terms of content and being able to distribute that content in a way that is effective enough that they will keep coming back for more every single time. I don't know who watches this podcast, but obviously with 3,000 subscribers having been accumulated, all of you are diehard Descendants and Zombies fans. You are here because of it, and because I have found my niche and have fallen into that niche, like the White Rabbit in Alice in Wonderland and what she found there back in the 18th century. You guys have really allowed me to come into a niche that I don't ever want to find my way out of. You know, if this is a dream, I never want to wake up from it, because obviously this is a niche that has brought us all together, and I will never ever forget each and every one of you because of it. I know I come on here and I say a lot of stupid things. I say how I want the Descendants cast to live with me and have Ruby Rose Turner building game chairs in my bedroom because I don't want to have to build a game chair by myself and set up reciprocal lights. I've often teased how I want to have them do the Life is Sweeter When You Are dance number out of my kitchen while baking pies, like in that scene for Life is Sweeter When You Are. But because those scenes are so beautiful and the messages in those songs for the scores of Descendants are incredibly inspiring. I mean, who out there wasn't inspired by Life is Sweeter When You Are? I know I was. I was inspired to do a lot of things. And ultimately I came out of watching The Rise of Red wanting to watch it 100 times over again because of the powerful messages that it conveyed. I also was the biggest Liv and Maddie supporter. One night, on my way home from a friend's house, because I didn't want to miss the premiere of a special episode one summer, I fell down and completely shattered this elbow. I can't bend it to the right degrees, but I ended up having to have a steel plate put in this elbow, and there was a massive scar on this elbow because of who? Dove Cameron. But I don't hate Dove Cameron for that. I did it out of love and support for Dove Cameron. I'm the biggest Dove Cameron fan in the world. I had the biggest crush on Dove Cameron for what felt like forever. But then again, who haven't I had the biggest crush on in entertainment for forever? Some of them I've met, some of them I have yet to meet, and girls in my life I've had crushes on time and time again. But as I said here earlier, every one of them left me. I don't know why. Maybe because of this passion that I've got for Disney. Seems like Tanisha was the only one that never quit on me because of it, but that is still debatable or not. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what she's thinking in her mind to be so interested in a guy with a 3-foot tall Mickey over his bed. But that's besides the point. Each and every one of you have never ever quit on me because of being such a huge Dove Cameron supporter, whom I think is incredibly beautiful, incredibly talented, and whom I think still has a really long way to go. Let me just say this. I love Dove Cameron. I fell in love with her instantly, and I can see how you guys feel about her. And why would that give me a reason to sit behind this podcast and criticize her? Just to make fun of her because you guys love her so much? I am not going to do that. If anything, I'm going to sit behind this podcast microphone every single night of my life, and I'm going to find nothing but good things to say about Dove Cameron. I've heard her say some of the most outrageous things during podcast interviews, going as far to say that her boyfriend Thomas Doherty years ago liked her better when she didn't talk too much. Let me just say this. Thomas Doherty is completely out of line for having said that, and if anything, Dove Cameron has a right to talk. Every girl out there has a right to talk and has a right to express herself for how she wants to be and how she wants to feel. And the quicker guys, the quicker idiots out there realize that they have to respect a girl for how she feels and what she believes in, the world's going to be a better place. The quicker everybody realizes that a girl helps make everything make sense in this lifetime, we're going to be a whole lot better off. I know I'm sitting here tonight with nobody, but I know that the quicker that I realize that girls help make everything make sense in this lifetime, I'll probably be better off too. But I want to say this. I will never ever quit believing in Dove Cameron and what she has believed in for forever, no matter how many times she contemplated quitting on her career because of the death of her father, whom sometimes she didn't really have a deep connection with but loved so dearly. I will never ever quit on her, and I will never ever quit on anybody who ever proudly said that they were a Dove Cameron fan. I really appreciate too this connection Dove has had with her fans. I say this because how many celebrities out there do you see are so distant from their fans? Dove Cameron was never so distant from her fans. She was always there to respond to tweets on Twitter at the time. I remember when one fan was being bullied and she reached out to Dove Cameron for support, and within 10 minutes she tweeted her back, and now because of what Dove Cameron said to her and how she inspired her, that fan can now have courage to stand up to her bullies and is no longer affected by it. I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. I went through my entire high school experience being bullied until one day I decided to get involved in the professional wrestling industry, and my life changed for the better, and I ended up kicking the shit out of a lot of guys. But that's besides the point. What I want you guys to know is this. Anything in this life is possible. Any dream that you've ever wanted to achieve is achievable, no matter how many times somebody will try to knock you off of that proverbial pedestal. All you ever have to do is never ever quit on who or what you believe in, and any dream that you have or want to achieve will become achievable, no matter how distant that dream may seem to be from you. Because I'm going to tell you guys something. If there's one way of describing the Descendants universe and the Zombies universe, it's like this. You guys are a beacon of light that can outshine any amount of darkness that we may have befall upon us throughout the course of our lifetimes. I have realized that because when everybody quit on me, you guys pulled me out of obscurity, pulled me out of that proverbial darkness and back into the light, and you did it every single time. I don't know why you guys have made me the voice of Descendants and Zombies. Maybe it's because I'm so funny to listen to. Maybe it's because I have a voice that could be one of the greatest podcasting voices of all time. Maybe it's because you love all these stuffies in the back here. I don't know. Maybe you love the reciprocal lights. But I want you guys to know that I share in that same passion that each and every one of you are here because of Descendants and Zombies. My favorite Descendants movie of all time was a toss-up between The Rise of Red from just last year and Descendants 2 in 2017. Because of the music and how many times we have seen, I don't know how many times we have seen the emotions in a script being so high that they had to use music to convey a powerful message, and they definitely succeeded in Descendants for doing it. My favorite new Descendants song has to be Life is Sweeter When You Are, because I'm going to tell you guys something. Life is sweeter when you are, and I can guarantee you that there is somebody out there waiting to hear the words, I love you. I've been waiting to hear those words for over 20 years. I still haven't heard them. I only just recently heard them about 2 weeks ago. It breaks my heart every single time. I can only wish that there were more kind people in this world who never ever quit on what they believed in. But I know that the Descendants universe is the strongest force in the world that can outshine any amount of darkness that we have befall upon us and that we encounter. I don't know where I'd be without each and every one of you guys. I'd just be a guy sitting in front of his podcast microphone every night talking about something that probably nobody would take interest in. I don't even know how many people watch this podcast. I know some of the videos get thousands of views, others get a couple of hundred views. I've got a lot of subscribers. If you want to contribute to that subscriber count, don't forget to ring my bell to stay up to date with notifications. Your YouTube bell will light up red. You'll pull it down, and every time Jonathan Clarke, yours truly, uploads a video, you will get it. I have had an incredible amount of joy making you laugh. I have had an incredible amount of joy telling you stories on this podcast, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I love to tie stories in about my everyday life experiences to Descendants and Zombies because I find that to be a very powerful way of conveying a message, which a lot of podcasters out there don't take the time to do, which I can only wish they would take more of an opportunity to do. Having said that, I know that the Descendants cast of yesterday, believe they have told the story and they have completed it. But we have this new cast to be very fond of. We've very quickly fallen in love with people like Clarke and Mila Baker, so I think we should take a chance and take them up on what they have to offer us, which is an entirely different experience for the Descendants fans and the franchise as a whole. There are a total of 9 books. We're up to a total of, I think, 5 movies now. This is going to be the 5th one. So let's see where we go from here and not immediately jump down the throats of the writers and the producers with criticism like we've seen for the music videos and everything having to do with Descendants and Zombies. I want to take a chance on this, and I want to see where we go from here because, honestly, I have never been so excited in all of my life. I'm so excited to have each and every one of you here. You know, as a YouTube creator can only hope to upload his video and someone is going to find his thumbnail and you're going to fall into his niche. And that's what I've hoped for forever, ever since I launched my first podcast back in 1999. And it's happened for me time and time again, no matter what the topic or what the niche is that I've fallen into and taken an interest in. You guys have always been here. Some of the very first subscribers that I've had for forever are still here. And I can remember a time when this YouTube channel had 6 subscribers. And I couldn't believe that. I thought that was a lot. I never thought I'd see the day when this YouTube channel would have 100 subscribers, much less 1,000 subscribers. And you guys have put me behind this podcast microphone every single night. And for that, I can't thank you enough. Sure, I tell stories about how I want to kick the ass of a lot of vampires. Sure, I tell stories about how I want to do this and I want to accomplish this out of life and I want to see this happen for me. But you have never, ever quit on me, which makes the Descendants and Zombies franchises, the universe, the strongest force in the world. Unbelievable. If there was anything that could go up against Marvel's Incredible Hulk, it would be you guys. You know, I could be the Hulk. I'll do you one better. I could be the Incredible Hulk, and you could be the entire Descendants universe, and we could take on Donald Trump. And I could run for president of the United States, finally give Kylie Cantrell a president that she could be proud of. I'll address the nation behind this podcast microphone every night at 8 p.m. from the White House, of course, because I have to move my YouTube show from this room into the White House, which hopefully will be a little bit cheaper on my budget after having spent $4,200 on this podcast, and we'll have a whole lot of fun. Kylie will get the president that she can finally be proud of after being criticized for not having been a Donald Trump supporter. His birthday was the other night. Who cares? But having said that, everybody out there has never ever quit on people like Dove Cameron and Kylie Cantrell. They are your idols, and they are your idols for good reason. Ruby Rose Turner was my favorite of the entire Descendants franchise. I was a big Sofia Vergara supporter before too, but Ruby Rose Turner was my favorite of the entire Descendants franchise as a whole, and I'm going to miss her. I hope she doesn't fall in love with Justin Bieber when she was probably 11 or 12 years old. She had the biggest crush on Justin Bieber, but as I've said many times on this podcast, the only thing he's going to do for her is take her to Best Buy when he finds out she doesn't have a TV, take her home and set it up for her. And I want more for Ruby Rose Turner out of life than that. So hopefully Ruby will see this podcast once I get 1 million subscribers put up on this thing, and she will move in with me and help me build game chairs and bake out of my kitchen. Bake pies, and because those pies and donuts and sprinkled on, what are they called? Cupcakes look so ravishing and so beautiful. And if they are filled with as much kindness as what it said in the Descendants script and the recipe book, I definitely want to get my hands on some of those. Guys, thank you so much for your love and support you have shown this YouTube channel. I honestly don't know where I would be without each and every one of you. My heart goes out to each and every one of you for finding my thumbnail, because as a YouTube creator, I can only hope that you find my thumbnail amongst 500 Descendants and Zombies thumbnails that you find on the YouTube platform every single night, because these videos are being uploaded literally every 5 minutes, I kid you not, and they are filling up their YouTube channels with bots so they can affect the YouTube algorithm. This YouTube channel is growing organically, so it's up to you, the person watching the video to hit the subscribe button. I grow this YouTube channel organically, and I go to Booster Juice to find out if the guy running it is actually named Booster, and I come home disappointed every single night because I find out he's not. And it really lets me down. Way to bring us all down, Booster. Falsely promoting your Booster Juice franchise. Either that or Dairy Queen. I love the Cheesecake Blizzard. And I upload these videos. I come home with a Cheesecake Blizzard or a drink from Booster Juice, depending on what smoothie I'm craving. And I find out I have 3 subscribers. So if I upload this video and I get 50 subscribers, just imagine how excited I'm going to be. Having said that, I hope you do hit my subscribe button. What do you say we watch this Descendants themed video together? I'm really excited to watch these Descendants videos with each and every one of you. If you could take a moment to hit my subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it as we watch this video together and put a little bit of extra magic and sprinkle into all of our lives.
I think what I learned from Bridget is that
I love that you slipped into Bridget a bit.
I think my favorite thing that I took away from Bridget was just her like overall sweetness. She just faces this really hard, tough, mean world with such kindness, and I think that takes a lot of bravery, and
It does.
I try to pull a Bridget as much as I can.
Good.
Yeah.
I love that.
My favorite thing about Ella is that I just feel like she's really grounded in her truth, and I try to carry that with me all the time. It's one of the personality traits I look for 100% of the time in people in my real life, and so I was really excited to play her for that reason.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I just love her. I love her overall. I don't know.
I guess mine was super fun because, like, for me, Uliana is so different from who I am, and her voice is even deeper, and her eyes are crazy. Tentacles shooting out. It definitely was very fun being able to be someone so opposite of myself. It was a little sad that I had to like take it out on them in the scene.
A little too real now.
A little too real. You fighting in the song. Like, calm down. But yeah, no, it was definitely. I learned to be more understanding and more compassionate because everybody's going through their own battle.
If you
What a beautiful, gorgeous night it is. Abu just threw me this banana in through my window. He just made his way home from the Agrabah market. And I will eat this banana after I get off this podcast. It's really fun when you have a talking monkey who supports you financially. Stop laughing. Guys, seriously, honest to God, thank you so much for all the love and support you've given this YouTube channel. Unquestionably, I go out of my way every single night when I sit behind this podcast microphone to bring it to life in ways unquestionably, undeniably, unlike any other podcaster out there, because most of them will just sit behind their podcast and say what they have to say or are told to say about Descendants and Zombies as a whole, shut their podcast off, go to sleep, and wake up with 1 million subscribers and 30,000 likes. I want to give you something better. If anything, I want to give you something that you're going to cherish. They're going to be memories that you're never going to forget. You're never ever going to forget me. You're going to get to know me by subscribing to this YouTube channel, know that I'm a funny guy who is just so full of life and exuberance. And that's really all I've been, is someone who's just been so full of life and exuberance, and that's probably why every girl that's ever been in a relationship with me has left me, because I've ultimately chosen each and every one of you and this podcast over anything else more important in my life. But I want you to know that you hold a special place in my heart, and you forever will, because, as I said, when I had nothing, you guys were what I was left with, and our passion for Descendants and Zombies is what's brought us all together. Now, if you excuse me, I've got to go on the graveyard shift and kick the whole lot of butt with vampires, and I got to go spread some kindness, which I think is something we should all take ourselves up in the opportunity to do right now. So what do you say we go spread some kindness at this very moment? Bye, YouTube. We will do it again really soon. So long for now.